Hey everyone, my name is Micah. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Punch Needle World. When it comes to punching, unless you're sculpting your rug using different size needles, the finished textile that you're looking to create is a smooth, even surface. The loop should be evenly spaced and of an even height. But if you're just getting started, this can be tricky to achieve, especially since you'll be working from the back of the fabric, which makes it hard to know exactly what's going on the front. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing the top 5 tips for creating even loops on the front of your fabric. Let's get started. All right, tip number 1 for even punch needle loops is make sure that your backing fabric is stretched tight. No matter what type of frame you use, the first step to creating even loops is to make sure that the backing is prepared properly. You want your fabric to be stretched smooth and tight as a drum. Here, I've got my monk's cloth stretched on a gripper strip frame. You can see that when I tap it, the fabric hardly moves. This is exactly what you want. This keeps the weave open, allowing your needle to slide through more easily, achieving those nice even loops. Tip number 2 is face the punch needle in the direction that you are punching. You want to hold the punch needle like a pencil, with the channel facing up. And when you punch down in the fabric, you always want that channel facing in the direction that you're punching. For instance, if I'm punching from right to left and want to turn a corner, the proper way to do this is to turn the needle while it is all the way down in the fabric, so that your channel is again facing in the new direction that you're punching. Facing the needle in another direction can tangle the thread or cause the loops to pull out. Tip number 3, make sure to punch all the way down in the fabric. The loop you create will be half the height of your needle length. You are pushing yarn to the other side and the needle is folding it in half as it brings it back up through the same hole. Punching down all the way ensures that you're creating a loop with yarn that is the full length of the needle. Pushing only part of the needle through means you'll be creating a smaller loop. This part of the punch needle acts as a stopper, so don't be afraid to push all the way down until the handle hits the monk's cloth. Tip number 4, don't lift the needle up too high when beginning your next stitch. Just as important as pushing all the way down is not to lift your needle up too high when you're beginning your next stitch. You want the tip of your needle to just graze the surface of the fabric before going into the next hole. Just drag it gently along the top before pushing it down again. If you pull up too high when beginning the next stitch, you'll be pulling the yarn up from your previous stitch and possibly even all the way out of the fabric. And finally, tip number 5 is constantly check your work. We can get so concentrated punching on the back of the fabric that it's easy to forget to flip your frame over and take a look at the loops that you've just created. Especially when you're just starting out, you'll want to check your work constantly to make sure that your loops are of even height. If they're not, don't worry. It's very easy to pull out your stitches and redo them, but you'll want to catch them early enough so that you're not pulling out row upon row of good stitches just for a few missed loops earlier on. So there you have it, the top 5 tips for creating even punch needle loops. To recap, make sure that your backing fabric is stretched tight. Face the punch needle in the direction that you are punching. Make sure to punch all the way down in the fabric. Don't lift the needle up too high when beginning your next stitch. Constantly check your work. Thanks so much for watching. I hope these tips help you create beautiful, even punch needle loops. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you.